Hi and welcome to a windy practice ground here in North Berwick East Links, Glen Golf Club, and I want to do a little video on why not to close the club face in the backswing on full shots. I've done this a little bit on short shots, on chipping, where it makes a big difference, but I just wanted to talk through what happens when you do this on a full swing, because there are other things that go on that can be quite destructive in your golf swing. If you don't realise you're doing this, it can be really quite destructive, so it's worth watching this and then maybe checking yourself on video if you are doing this. The signs that you're doing this will be that you're digging into the ground a lot. So you have a tendency to hit the ball fat, you have a tendency to hit the ball really low, you always struggle to get height, and it sometimes can go left on you, so you can be tendency to hook it a little bit. And actually a byproduct of knowing that you're going to hit it fat can mean that you actually guard against that and you end up thinning the ball, pushing it as well. So there's all sorts of stuff can go wrong because of this. One of the main reasons I think it comes about is because people aim right. You know, I've been teaching for about 30 years and I've done a video on this, that 95% of right-handers aim miles too far right and they have absolutely no clue they're doing it. And there's different things that happen now. It's one of the reasons that everybody comes over the top, because they're aiming right and they need to reroute the swing to get it back to the target. It's one of the big reasons it never goes away unless you address that. But also on top of that, you can get closed club faces, because a closed club face, as I mentioned earlier in this, makes the ball go left. So if I do a normal little swing here and I close the club face on the backswing. So closing the club face is basically, if you don't know what that is, it's the face looking at the ball at setup, and then you take it back and the club is continually, when it gets to about that point, it's looking at the ground. Right, so it should be more like that. It should be facing that. So with the watch face that I've got on, I don't know if you can see that. So the watch face there on a closed club face is looking down the way. It should be more like that I can see the watch. So that's basically the forearm hasn't rotated. So if I take it back and I don't rotate the forearm at all, I end up with a closed club face, watch looking down, face looking down, like that, and all sorts of horrible things start happening. But as I've said, it can be a byproduct, another reason, a compensation, because somebody's aiming to the right. So if you're aiming to the right by accident and the closed club face hits it left, well then it goes back towards the left-hand side. See, I dug a big hole and it went really low and I hit it left of where I was aiming. So closed club face, again, I'll just try and hit a wee shot here. Do a closed club face, that ball, it goes low and hooking left. And if I don't do a closed club face, if I open the face a little bit and let it hit through, you'll see the ball go a lot higher and a little bit over to the right, if anything. There was other reasons for that, lack of ability being one of them, but didn't go low and left is my point. So it's a big factor, and as part of aiming right, you tend to want to close the club face down. But it can also be gripping too tight as well. It's another reason people do it, and you don't get the natural range of motion that you would normally get when you're doing athletic motions. Throwing, for example, you get all this rotation that goes on without you even thinking about it. Same in the golf swing, if you hold it soft, then you get rotation of the forearm and wrist hinge and all the rest of it happens. Natural stuff starts to happen if you grip it softly. But to grip it softly, that's another whole lesson. You've got to be gripping it correctly. So see videos on how to grip it correctly, because that's the only chance you've got of being able to hold it as soft as you need to. And you'd be amazed at how soft the tour pros do hold it, and really good amateurs as well. So where was I? I'm going to run out of balls here. The other thing I wanted to show you about the destructive part of the closed club face thing is what it does to your left arm. You see this all the time now. You'll have heard that in a good golf swing, your left arm should be nice and straight. Okay. Well, if you close the club face, that simply is not possible. So if I don't rotate this forearm and I just hold it looking like that, now I'm stuck at this point. I've got a couple of options. I can either do this, which you see people do, and that completely breaks down the arc of the swing, and it now becomes a lottery as to how you return that club to the ball. Really difficult to get a good strike. And you're casting it out, you're losing all your power, it's just horrible. We don't need to go into the details of it. You can see that's not right, and it isn't right. And it's caused by the fact that you're not rotating that. So I rotate that forearm, I get to that point, I can just keep going. Shoulder, and I keep a nice straight arm. Closed club face, that's the only option I've got. It's not the only option I've got, actually. The only other option I've got is if you look at it from this angle. So if I go closed club face, and I think, right, well, I've got to keep a left arm straight because I've read that in Golf World. So you've got to keep your left arm straight. So keep the left arm straight. Yeah, I managed that. But what have I done now? I've lifted up. So I've gone posture up. As I've gone back here, I've lifted everything up. And that is equally as destructive as bending your left arm in terms of getting back to the ball time and time again. Again, a lottery. This movement in golf, not good. Makes you miss the ball, makes you do all sorts of things. If I lift up, I'll genuinely try and hit a shot here and I'll lift up in the backswing. I missed the ball. Let's have another go. Up in the air. Oh, top of the ball. And that's what you do all day long if you lift up and down. So your two options if you close the club face, probably three options, but your two bad options are broken left arm, all hell breaks loose on the downswing. No left arm break, but a lift. And the only other thing you get is very short swings. So you get people who get to that point and feel stuck and are stuck and just hit through from there. So their swing looks really short. Back to there and through the shot. And it's not nice either, but it's probably better than doing the other two things. The other thing I see from this as a result is people trying to stop it going left. So closed club face, if every time I hit it, it wants to go over to the left and low, then how do I, as a human being, I don't accept that. I think, right, well, I don't want it to go over there and low and left. I want it to go straight at the target. So what I'm going to do now is, subconsciously, I'm going to try and hit out and up to the right and stop it going to the left. It's still hooking a little bit, but I managed to keep it a little bit straighter. But again, you're making massive compensations for the fact that you've got an inefficient move, a bad move in your backswing. You've got a closed club face, and if you would only learn to rotate a little bit and then keep turning, I mean, it's not quite as simple as that. There's other things go on as well to make up a really good backswing, but that's a massive component of it. And being able to turn and move in the right way with a closed club face to this point, for most people, is very, very difficult. You do get some tour pros who create closed club face positions, and they're very athletic, they're very supple, very flexible, and then they make really athletic, powerful moves to compensate for it in the downswing. And they're massively naturally talented. The most efficient way, easiest way to play golf is with a neutral club face in the backswing, not a closed club face. So I would encourage everybody, if you are not doing it already, to do the little Justin Thomas takeaway set position where you get back to this point and you check where it is. It's supposed to be that the leading edge is on a line with your spine. That's kind of your textbook position. You want it in line with your feet. You don't want to see it inside here, you don't want to see it outside there. You want it in line with your feet, and pretty much with the watch face, if you look at it like that, looking out that way, you're safe. It's not maybe an exact science in terms of where exactly it should be. It's different for different people, but generally you just can't have it like that. Anywhere looking at the ground like that, at that point, you're in trouble. Very difficult to work it from there and get a good shot away. So you want to see me hitting a perfect shot with the perfect club face position? I'll give it a go. I'll give my best shot. I haven't been playing. I'm not warmed up, so give me a chance. I got a little bit steep into it maybe, but it was a nice strike actually. It certainly wasn't low and left, and I didn't thin it in an effort to not make it go low and left. So I think that is it. I think that's all I wanted to say. I just wanted to draw your attention to something which is quite destructive in the swing and can be quite hard to realise and spot unless you know about it. But if you've got any questions, put them in the comments and I'll get back to you. And once again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.